One shot, one fingertip, one heartbreak that rewrote the entire story of a game and maybe an entire program season. The first round of the NCAA women's tournament delivered not one but two overtime thrillers. And no moment captured the brutal beauty of March Madness quite like what unfolded between Clemson and Southern California. With the clock winding down and the Tigers trailing, Clemson's Myia Moore launched a shot at the buzzer, a shot that, for one breathless moment, appeared to hand Clemson a stunning 64-61 victory. The bench erupted. The players stormed the floor. The celebration was real, raw, and completely premature. Officials went to the monitor for a lengthy review, and what they found was the kind of cruel technicality that only March can produce. The ball was still on Moore's fingertips when regulation expired, and the foul was called only after the shot left her hand. Every single variable that could be counted against that shot and against Clemson came due at the exact same millisecond. The score reverted to 61-61, the court was cleared, and overtime began. Southern California, composed and battle-tested, pulled away from there and advanced. Analysts were quick to point out that what happened to Myia Moore was not a failure of execution, it was simply luck running in the wrong direction at the worst possible time. She did everything right. The arc was there. The release was there. The courage to take that shot was absolutely there. Sometimes the ball bounces one way and not the other. And that is the only honest explanation a sport like basketball can offer. Moore deserves nothing but recognition for that moment. And so does Clemson guard Raven Thompson, who fought relentlessly throughout the contest to keep the Tigers in contention. 4. Head coach Sean Poppy. The loss stings, but the program's trajectory tells a different story. In just his second year leading Clemson, the Tigers finished the regular season with 21 wins. The most the program has recorded since the 2000-2001 campaign. They competed on the biggest stage in women's college basketball and very nearly advanced. The foundation being built in Clemson, South Carolina, is unmistakably real. And the future of Tigers basketball is a conversation that will only grow louder. On the other side of the bracket, Southern California's victory was powered by a performance that stopped everyone in the building cold. Freshman guard Jazzy Davidson stepped into the spotlight and refused to leave, finishing the game with 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. The numbers alone are staggering, but the context makes them historic. Davidson became the only freshman in the last 25 years to post 35 points and 5 assists in her NCAA tournament debut. She did it in a packed arena, in overtime, against a desperate opponent fighting for its season. That is not a coincidence. That is a player. What makes Davidson's emergence even more remarkable is the circumstances that created it. When USC star Juju Watkins went down with a knee injury last season, Davidson had no choice but to assume a leadership role she had not expected to hold. She had not signed with USC knowing she would be asked to carry the offense. She had not prepared for that weight. But she carried it anyway. And the results have been extraordinary. Now, with Watkins recovering and expected to return, the Trojans are looking at a future that most programs can only dream about. USC is not just relying on individual talent, either. The program has been methodically rebuilding its culture and community connection around Southern California basketball, and it is working. One of the best incoming recruiting classes in the country is already committed, and Watkins, even while recovering, has been personally involved in drawing elite prospects to the program. The combination of Davidson's fearless freshman campaign, Watkins' impending return, and a rising recruiting pipeline puts USC in a position to contend at the highest level for years to come. The first round of the 2025 NCAA Women's Tournament made one thing undeniably clear. This is exactly what March is supposed to feel like. Not the polished, predictable version of basketball that plays out over a regular season, but the raw, edge of your seat, anything can happen version that reminds you why sports matter in the first place. Overtime games decided by the width of a fingertip, Buzzer shots that send half an arena into euphoria and the other half into silence. Freshmen stepping into the brightest lights of their lives and refusing to blink. Programs that have been quietly building suddenly announcing to the whole country that they have arrived. This is March Madness, not as a slogan, not as a brand, but as a lived, breathing, emotionally violent experience that turns a basketball game into something far closer to theater than sport. And if the first round already looked like this, just imagine what the rest of the tournament has in store. Now we want to hear from you. Did Clemson get robbed in that final review? Or is that simply the cold, unforgiving reality of the rules that every team agrees to play by? Because there is a real argument on both sides. And this is exactly the kind of moment that divides fan bases and fuels debates for years. And what about Jazzy Davidson? Is she already the most electrifying freshman in women's college basketball right now? Drop everything you are thinking in the comments section below. We read every single one, and we want to know where you stand. If you are loving this tournament coverage and want to stay locked in for every round, every upset, and every moment that makes you forget to breathe, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and ring the notification bell so you are always the first to know when we drop. The madness is just getting started, and you do not want to miss a second of it.